Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be showcasing the ASTRON Rex. Most of you are going to be able to get your hands on this vehicle for free by simply participating in the current atypical event. But even if you're not watching this video because of this event and you just want to see how this tank plays, well, in today's video I'll be showcasing the capabilities and playstyle of the ASTRON Rex. I actually really like this tank. It's a beast on the battlefield, and if you know what you're doing, it can be an incredibly fun tank. Let's start off with these statistics. The gun features around 1800 damage per minute, which makes it one of the lowest for a tier 8 medium. However, that's not too big of a problem because it's an autoloader. This vehicle can deal 870 damage in 7 seconds, which is a lot of damage. The only other medium which can deal this amount of damage would be something like a Lorraine, but the alpha damage is way lower, and not only that, but the Lorraine has way worse armor, and it's a much larger target. This is definitely a more flexible tank. We can see the penetration with calibrated shells is 200 on the standard and 252 on the gold. Decent pen values. It also has pretty good damage, as I said, 290 on the standard, but look at that HE, 360. If you get to the rear of your opponents, you can get some nasty high explosive shells out. The vehicle also features 8 degrees of gun depression, allowing it to be fairly flexible on really any ridgeline. Turret armor is not great, it's about 120, and even though it is quite angled, in general, don't expect to get many bounces with the turret. But what you can expect is for this vehicle to get some troll bounces due to the very angled upper plate and steep angling on the turret as well. When it comes to your equipment loadout, you should be running refined gun, enhanced gun laying drive, and calibrated shells to make you have more pen and more accuracy. When it comes to view range, obviously run that over camo net, and when it comes to high-end consumables versus consumable delivery system, you should always be running the consumable delivery system. And the reason why is because what are you running that's gonna be a longer use case, right? Well, the only thing that I can personally think of would be adrenaline, but you can't run adrenaline on this tank because it's an autoloader. So speed boost, you don't need your speed boost to last like 5 seconds longer. That's a waste. Get faster cooldowns, it's going to be better. So what do we have up against us? We got an AMX Proto, and we have an Arak 105, and that's it. But all I have is a Pershing, and there is no way I am playing to the medium flank with just a Pershing. It's not happening. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my way over towards the heavy flank. They only have 2 heavies, an Object 752 and an IS-3 Defender. So because of that, I'm going to head right through mid and try and help out my team. Hopefully the 752 does not make a over-aggression, because if he doesn't, we're going to be quite fine here. There you go. We have the enemy Scorpion already spotted. Let's overpoke, aiming on that Scorpion. Boom, 356 into his vehicle, and boom, 396. And we're going to load in one more HE. Boom, look at that. I just full health clipped that player right out of the game. Now, I am going to back up because I'm not sure what exactly is shooting at me. Probably an Arak, but even if it's not, still could be quite a dangerous tank, so got to be very careful there. I do see a pretty nasty bleed into that BZ, which is quite good. Got the IS-3 Defender over here, got the Titan Strife. Okay, we can see that our T-28 Defender is getting bled out a little bit, but that is understandable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push wide while I have the opportunity. We're going to get to the side of these vehiculars. There you go. Nice shell into you. Got the IS-3 over here, and I'm going to load a gold shell. We do get 1 pen into his tank. Strife gets the pen into you, and then we slam the shell right into the lower plate of the IS-3 Defender. And we've already dealt 1800 damage. You can see how I'm using the Astron here. I never want to be the main focus, because why would I? I mean, obviously. But we're playing it in a position where I can, you know, survive, use my HP, and do a pretty good job. So we're going to reload here. I got 2 more seconds left on my vehicle, and easy shell once into the AMX, and an easy second shell into the AMX. Let's see, does the AMX want to trade a 30? It does, and there you go, another 295. Now, obviously, in this current time frame, I'm just going to back up. I need to reload my clip, and this is going to be the best way to do so. Just going to chill here. There you go, we get a nice bounce. Now I'm going to pretend like I have shells, and, okay, interesting. The AMX actually doesn't care if I pretend, so that's an interesting predicament. However, shouldn't matter. We got 1 shell into the enemy AMX right there. The AMX will only kill me if he high rolls. Does not. And look at this. We took a pretty healthy tier 9 and obliterated that player right out of the game, giving us a very solid battle. This is why damage per minute is not the most important thing for autoloaders. It is that clipping potential. We're at 3,500 damage in this game, and you can see the vehicle's great. I mean, that high damage output allows us to get some very nasty shells. And all I needed to do was play a little bit passive for a portion of that game to make sure that the AMX couldn't really do anything to me. We were completely fine. Now, I highly doubt we're going to get the shell. Ooh, actually, we might get the shell. There you go. Easy high explosive into the Arak 105. Great game for the Astron, right? You can see why the vehicle is very enjoyable for me personally. I really, really like autoloaders, especially ones that feel pretty balanced, and this is a balanced tank. It's not overpowered. It's not like a T-77 where you're dealing all of your damage in 2.5 seconds. It's pretty balanced, but there you go. We aced the vehicle. We ended up getting over 190,000 credits and finishing top on the team, so really no effort there whatsoever used. You can see how I noticed the enemy team had a Tier 9 medium, and I was like, yeah, there's no way. There's no way that I'm going up against a Tier 9 medium and a Tier 8 medium when I have two Tier 8 mediums, because I can't trust my Pershing enough to be that supportive of a teammate. And I'll give the Pershing credit. Helped me out. That player did a decent job, but I'm not willing to risk an entire flank of the map based off of a Pershing, right? So I went over to the heavy side because I saw what they had. Our heavies did the right thing. They played aggressive, they pushed, and we won. And that was actually like the dream team. When your team does exactly that, you will win every single game. Unfortunately, that's not how most teams work. So we had a Tier 9 battle, now we have a Tier 8 game. We're up against a Barask, we have a Progetto, and a Hazard. So that's 3 mediums, okay. I do have to be a little bit cautious here, but they don't have any tank destroyers, which means it's not too big of a problem. I don't have to worry about anything camping in the back. So we've actually spotted the enemy Barask, and not sure how I feel about that. Well, you know what? If that Barask is going to make the play that it is, I'm going to move over here. We're going to get 1 shell right into that player's tank, and 2 shells into that player. Let's see, you going to get shot by the 3rd? No, you are not, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, minus 600 of my health, ladies and gents. Yeah, we love the Annihilator just randomly playing his heavy tank to mid. Like, literally, there's no reasoning to why that Annihilator drove there, but he did. Alright, let's reload. As we can see, the long reload on this vehicle will definitely be a bit of a hindrance in certain circumstances, but we're fine. I don't know why that Annihilator made that play. I mean, we never will know, but really stupid. Yeah, I agree with our Smasher. Big ol' L. Alright, well, we're going to reload our clip. Whenever you feel like you're not going to be getting out damage, put on the reload. And that's exactly what we're doing here. I'm making sure that I can get my shells so that if we run into a Progetto or something else, I'm always going to have that opportunity to outbleed that player. So, they have a Progetto, and there you go. That's their Hazard, camping in the spawn back there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke the prog. There you go. Nice 305 damaging shell. Boom. Another 248 damaging shell. And we're going to overpoke this one more time. Look at that. Look at that damage output this thing has. I mean, that's a boatload of damage when you actually think about it. Now we're going to put on our speed boost, and we're going to try and get to the rear of the Hazard. I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty easy farm at this point. We got 8 more seconds. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to go to the rear. As much as I think playing to that position would be good, the problem is that Luva is a threat, and I don't want to be in a situation where that player is going to be able to get a decent amount of damage out into me, right? So, we got 1 shell into you, easy 2nd shell into the Hazard, and even though the Hazard does get a 2nd shell back into me, we are still an autoloader. We get that 3rd shell out, and now we back up and reload. The enemy team only has 3 vehicles left, and really the only tank I care about is that camping Luva. So in 10 seconds, we'll have our clip back, and I'm just kind of hoping we can get a little bit of damage into his vehicle. We should be pretty good, though. Looks like that Luva is still fairly healthy. Aiming, aiming, aiming. Boom. 320 damage into his tank, and boom, 275, and we are not able to get the 3rd shell out. But that's fine. The enemy team only has 2 tanks, and it shouldn't really make much of a difference. I got 1,600 assistance damage this game by not only getting that enemy Barask absolutely nuked, but also by keeping that Luva spotted, which is obviously really, really nice, and once again, a fantastic victory. We can see that not everything is dependent on base game values. Sure, this vehicle may not feature the most damage per minute, the most penetration, or even flexibility, but it doesn't really matter. We just had another really good result with 3,200 damage, 1,600 assisted. That's a 4,700 damage combined game and easily top on the team by double the next highest. The Astron is just a fantastic tank because it has that high clipping potential. It's got a really, really troll armor profile. And because it's super low down, it actually makes it quite easy to slip and slide your way in and out of the gameplay. That's the one problem I have with the Lorraine, is just the fact that look at how large the Lorraine is. I mean, sure, the Lorraine has more damage per minute, as we can see, but not that much more. But it definitely has more pen, and it's a much more mobile tank. But at the end of the day, I'd rather go for something like the Astron that has the slow or lower profile and the much better armor. So you can let me know your personal feelings, but it's not a bad tank. I know that there's a lot of people that say, oh, it's not very good, it's mid, but it's balanced. It's a fun, balanced tier 8 medium, which you can get for free. So have fun with it. Let me know your personal feelings in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.